So coming to the stage on the count of three, let's give it up to my friend. 1, 2, 3. Rocky, yeah!
Thank you.
Rocky!
Hey,
Rocky Balboa!
Woo-hoo!
Yeah!
All right.
Yeah!
Thank you all. I appreciate the time. Thank you for being here. So I'm going to take everybody on a journey with me, because this particular journey and this particular story is the reason why I'm even here. I never thought that I would be an entrepreneur. In fact, I rejected it at every corner, right? And I had people look at me my whole life and they're like, you're going to be an entrepreneur. You're going to have your own thing. And I was like, nah, not I. But there was a story to that young girl, right? So when I was young, I had this gift for being able to communicate. And even in grade school, I was seen. So I was the anchor in the morning news in 3rd grade, right? I also was in 4th grade. The principal walked in the room and said, hey, we'd like you to speak at the 5th grade graduation. And I was like, okay, sounds great, right? And so I had this talent that I didn't think anything of. And all throughout my time in grade school, from when I was young to going to college, I always knew I had that ability to just walk up. All right, I got to practice my presentation tonight. We're going to practice it one more time in the morning. We'll get up, we're going to talk, and we're going to do our thing. We're not going to worry about it, right? Because there was this opportunity to connect. And I learned the comforts of what it was to be on stage through all my years of dance. So I found this space, a space that a lot of people look at like, I ain't going to do that, as comfort. So I ask all of you, when you look at it, what talent do you have within you that you are ignoring, that you are putting to the side and not paying attention to? Because the ability to speak is the reason I even got my first big girl job. First big girl job, graduated from the University of South Florida, go Bulls, right? And I said to myself, we had to do a presentation for Verizon Fios. So I don't know if any of you knew before. What's up, how you doing? I don't know if any of you knew, before the Frontier building, you used to say Verizon on it, right? And that was my first job. I got that job because we had to do a presentation into the entire regional marketing department, and my team won. And I was like, woohoo, all right, the ability to communicate got me that first big job, right? And I was so excited. I graduated with a dual bachelor's marketing and management. I'm like, I'm going to become a marketing person. I'm going to go all the way to the top. I'm going to be a C-level this marketing, walk, right? Well, 6 months into the role, my director pulled me in the room and she said, you have talents that you are not paying attention to, and so I'm going to move you over to training. I said, yes, ma'am. But then I was like mortified. I went home and cried, okay? Not even gonna lie. But it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. See, I had come into Verizon as a contractor. Verizon is a union environment. So anybody that understands a union environment, they're already not interested in managers, never mind a contractor. I'm 24 years old, and I now have to train people that have been at the company longer than I have been alive, as a contractor. But during that time, I found the ability to connect with people. I found the ability to get up in front of a crowd and not only speak, but help teach and pass it on. So I ask all of you, what talent do you have within you that others see and you are not paying attention to? Right? Because as we move forward in life, every single job that I have acquired in my life, I've needed the ability to speak. And it has been something that's changed the trajectory of my entire career. And it was through this growth in corporate that, again, I have this talent, not thinking about it, not really concerned with it, like, it's just something I know I could do. Oh, I got a meeting in 2 minutes in front of a crowd of 40 people. All right, we'll be all right. I'm gonna just open up these notes. We're gonna go right to it, not gonna think anything of it. But there came my last job, my last corporate job. I was working in a marketing company, and I was asked to do a work-life balance workshop. And I had less than 2 days to get the entire thing together for the entire department on top of all the other work I had to do, thanks. And so made it happen, pulled it together, got it together, because I had that background in training. I have these backgrounds that helped me get there. It went over so well, they asked me to now do it at the HBR, which is the Half Business Review, in Aruba, in front of the entire company. I was the only person that did not have a director level or higher title that was on stage that day, and I had an hour to get the job done. This is in January of 2024 that this happened, right? So I realized in that moment, on my way back home, yeah, I'm done with this corporate thing. I had many reasons why I was done with the corporate thing, and I'm going to become a speaker. That's all I knew. That's all I knew that I was going to do. So in February, I purchased a workshop that taught women how to be professional keynote speakers, because I was like, you know what, I'm going to take this skill and I'm going to hone in and I'm going to start learning more about it. So I'm going to take this transferable skill and I'm going to move it over, right? In May of last year, I was fired from that job as a top performer. And the anxiety flushed right out of my body because I was living with a ton of anxiety in that role. It wasn't for me. Corporate wasn't for me, to say the least. But I knew where I was going and I knew where I was headed. So I ask all of you, what are you holding back from the world that you're not paying attention to that is in your skill set? What have you not tapped into that the world is waiting for you to step into? Because throughout this journey of being an entrepreneur, I have realized that this journey is actually more of a spiritual one than anything else. Because you are on the journey of self. You are on the journey of purpose. You're going out there and you're saying to yourself, what is downloaded into me each and every day? And I decided, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm going to get myself a mentor. And then I got another mentor, right? Because now I have 2 mentors, and I'm learning what it is to be an entrepreneur, because I knew business. I wasn't worried about the speaking part of it, but boy, I didn't know how to do all the other stuff. And it was overwhelming, and it was scary. But all I said at the beginning of this journey, for whatever your belief may be, I don't know the how, but I'm going to show up every day. And if you could just take the wheel and drive me to where I'm meant to be, I'm going to keep my head down, I'm going to do the work, and I will be ready when the moment arrives. So what part of your purpose are you denying within yourself on this journey of life that you are not paying attention to?